My mom snapped, "We are not your damn servants," while I lay injured in the house I paid for, so I kicked them out. And what I discovered next changed all. Part 3. He came over immediately, helping me move essential paperwork and valuables to a storage unit. He didn't say, "I told you so." He just nodded and asked what else I needed. "You know they're going to lose their collective minds, right?" he said carefully, helping me into his truck. "Eleanor is going to go nuclear. Your mom will probably try to claim elder abuse or something equally ridiculous." "I know," I replied. "I'm done caring." Jared grinned, the first real smile I'd seen in weeks. "About time. Welcome back to the land of self-respect." He pulled into the storage facility. "For what it's worth, I'm proud of you. This won't be pretty, but it's necessary." We moved methodically through my list. Bank statements showing all my payments for their expenses, copied and stored off-site, family photos, and heirlooms that actually mattered to me. Secured important documents, birth certificate, house deed, insurance policies, all safely locked away where temper tantrums couldn't reach them. I changed all my passwords, set up two-factor authentication on every account, and called the mortgage company and my insurance agent to make sure no one but me could make changes. Small fortifications against the storm I knew was coming. The eviction notices arrived by certified mail the next day, one for my parents, one for Derek. I placed them on the kitchen table where they couldn't be missed, then went to my room and locked the door. The explosion came exactly as expected. Mom wailing like I'd physically attacked her. Dad's heavy footsteps pacing the hallway. Dear Eric pounding on my bedroom door, threatening to screw me up once I came out. Eleanor arrived an hour later, practically kicking in the front door. "You can't do this," she shouted through my bedroom door. "This is emotional abuse, Nate. They have nowhere to go." I texted back. "They can go to your house. You have plenty of space." "That's different," she responded immediately. "We have our routines." "John wouldn't stand for it." "Of course, John wouldn't," I replied. "Neither would I if I'd been given a choice." I stayed in my room that night, door locked. Jared brought me food and checked my bandages. My family raged outside like a storm. I could hear them plotting, trying to figure out how to make me back down. I'd expected guilt. I'd expected anger. What I hadn't expected was sabotage. The next morning, I found the kitchen flooded. Someone had stuffed paper towels down the sink and left the water running. The living room furniture had been rearranged to block pathways, difficult for anyone to navigate. Nearly impossible for someone with a fractured pelvis and broken ribs. Dear Eric smirked when he saw me struggling. "Oops. Guess we're all clumsy these days." I said nothing, just took photos of everything. Documentation for what was coming. For 2 weeks, it escalated. They cranked the heat to 85 degrees during the day, then turned the AC to 60 at night. They accidentally unplugged the internet during my telehealth appointments. They left food to rot in my bedroom when I was out with Jared. Eleanor came over daily, alternating between fake concern and open hostility. "This is what happens when you act rashly," she'd say. "If you'd just talked to us first, we could have worked something out." Talked as if I hadn't been trying to discuss boundaries for 5 years. I stuck to a simple strategy. Document everything. Say nothing. I installed security cameras in the common areas, perfectly legal in my own home, as my attorney confirmed. I set up motion-triggered recording on my phone for when I had to leave my room. Then came the breaking point. I was resting after a particularly painful physical therapy session when I heard glass shattering. I dragged myself to the hallway to find Derek swinging a hammer at the living room wall. "Oops," he said, eyes wild with a sick kind of triumph. "Guess we're damaging your precious house now." That was it. I called the police and Jared in that order. The responding officers were professional but clearly annoyed at being called for a family dispute until they saw my medical condition, the destruction and the eviction notices. "This changes things," one officer said quietly. "Destruction of property, harassment of an injured person, violating a legal eviction notice." They gave my family a choice. Leave immediately and peacefully, or face charges. My parents chose option 1. Dear Eric chose to escalate, screaming about how I was nothing without them, how they made me. He left in handcuffs, charged with destruction of property and threatening behavior. My parents left with their suitcases, Eleanor trailing behind them like a funeral director. "You'll regret this," she called back. "When you're old and alone, remember this moment." The door closed behind them. The silence was deafening. No war movies, no gaming rage, no passive-aggressive sighs. For the first time in years, my house felt like mine again. Just as I settled back into my recovery routine, my phone buzzed with a message from an unexpected source, my mom's sister, Aunt Nora. We rarely spoke. She lived several states away and only reached out for holidays or emergencies. When I saw her name, my stomach tightened. I opened the message expecting condemnation, but what I read left me stunned. "Nate, I just heard what happened. I'm not taking sides, but there's something you need to know. Please call me. It's important." I called her immediately. "Nate," she answered on the first ring. "Are you alright?" "As alright as someone can be with broken ribs and no family," I said about that, she replied. "Did you ever wonder how your parents managed financially all these years while living with you? Or how Eleanor afforded that house?" I hadn't actually. I'd assumed Eleanor's husband made good money. As for my parents, I figured they had retirement savings or something. "Your grandmother didn't just leave a few mementos when she died," Nora continued. "She left nearly $750,000 in assets in cash to be divided between your mother, Aunt Haley, and you." My mind went blank. "What?" "Yes, Nate. You were entitled to roughly $250,000. No one told you because your mother convinced everyone you weren't responsible enough yet. She and Eleanor were going to manage it for you until you were settled. That was 8 years ago, right before you bought your house. I sat down heavily on my bed, the pain in my ribs suddenly irrelevant compared to this new information. Are you saying they kept my inheritance from me for 13 years? That's exactly what I'm saying. And it gets worse. They didn't just keep it from you, they spent it. They paid off Eleanor's house loan, funded Derek's failed college attempts, covered your parents' debts and early retirement. That's why they never worked after moving in with you. They didn't need to. Everything suddenly made sense. The weird comments about me being unreliable with money. Eleanor mocking me like I needed financial supervision. My parents' complete lack of concern about finding work. Why didn't you say something sooner? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Because I didn't have the full picture until recently, Nora said. Haley finally admitted everything after your mom started twisting what happened with the eviction. And honestly, I was scared of starting a family war. I thought maybe they were helping you financially in other ways. I laughed bitterly. They weren't helping me. I was supporting them while they spent my money. After a long silence, Nora spoke again. I have a copy of the will and a sworn statement from Haley about what really happened. If you want to pursue this legally, we'll back you up. The irony wasn't lost on me. While I was working 60-hour weeks, burning my body out to afford a modest house, my own family had been sitting on money that was rightfully mine. Money that could have made my life dramatically easier.